This video is part of my How to Earn $100 per Day Trading Meme Coins series. Check out the description below for the full list of videos. Make sure you use the BullX invite link in the description below so that you can skip the waiting line and start trading meme coins today. Let's jump in. Write this down. The other key component is we need to avoid scams. The two most common scams are bundles, which we'll discuss in a moment, and fake volume. I would argue that potentially 1% of that 2% that graduate are scam tokens. So we're really not looking for 600 tokens per day. We're really looking for about 300 quality tokens. So that means in a 24-hour day, we're looking for about 10 tokens per hour that are actually going to graduate and go over to Radium. And those are the ones that we'll make the most money on. And that's why patience is so important in this meme coin game. You don't want to overtrade. Now let's discuss filters. In the top right corner, you'll see that you can filter these token lists in case you want to take away certain tokens and you don't want them to spam on your feed. And I'll tell you my idea and theory about this, but let's talk about this for a moment. So here on the new creations filter, right here on the default, it will have both moonshot tokens and pump.fun tokens selected. Moonshot tokens it's a similar site to pump.fun where people can create their own new token. However, they don't get as much traction and volume. So I recommend deselecting moonshot tokens. We only want to see new launched pump.fun token. Next, there's the top 10 holders filter. I believe this will take away tokens that have the top 10 holders owning more than 10% of the supply. I don't recommend you selecting that. It's okay. Sometimes new launches, new tokens, people might have the top 10 holders might hold 20%, 15%, and that's fine. When we see it, the top 10 holders having 40%, like see here, right here, the top 10 holders is holding more than 15%. So they're holding 40% of the token here. So this token looks a little bit suspect, and we'll come back to suspect tokens in a little bit, but this is highly likely a scam token in some fashion. So back to filters, however, so don't want that selected with at least one social. So you'll notice with these tokens, they have these little icons underneath them. It has their link to their original pump.fun website. It may have a Twitter link or X, and they may have a website, or they may have none except for the pump.fun icon, which would, like I mentioned, if I click this one, this will show the original launch page for this token. When deciding which tokens are good or not, oftentimes it is good if they have social media, they have an X page, they may have a Telegram link. However, it's not a requirement. There are tokens that do well without having any social links, and we'll touch on those in a bit. Let's just focus on this filters right now. So with at least one social, like I said, I don't filter that out either. Just to give you a quick overview, I don't have any filters on because I want to see all of those tokens come about, and then I'll make my own decision of if I want to get involved. However, you may not want to, see all of the tokens, so you can have these filters on. So for example, let's say I want them to be at a minimum bonding curve, which I mentioned, right, when they have a $73,000 market cap. It might be a little bit higher now. It might be around $80,000 market cap. That's when they graduate. So let's say we want to only see tokens that only have a 15% minimum, right, and a max of 45%, right? We could apply that, and now it's going to show me tokens that, right, they've hit. This one's at 37% of the bonding curve. So you can filter it out a little bit. For the strategy I'm presenting today, I don't recommend you use these filters. Like I said, you want to be able to train your brain to scan, and it's not that difficult. It's like learning to ride a bike. Once you understand how to play this game, you'll be able to know what are the scams, what are opportunities, what have no motion, the ones you just don't want to get involved with because there's not enough volume, which just means there's not enough buys and sells. People just don't really like the token. There's so many new ones that's hyper competitive, right? We're looking for those 300 per day that are actually going to graduate and have massive returns. So we're not looking at every single token, and it's okay if we miss some of them. Like I said, there's 10 an hour roughly, right? There might be an hour where I don't even buy a token, or all of them that come by, they just don't appeal to me and I don't feel like getting involved because they just don't have, like I mentioned, a good ticker, a good picture, or they don't have real volume. So I recommend to leave these all empty. I recommend to watch other BullX tutorials. They may have a different philosophy where they have certain settings. However, when I've studied the top traders, they don't use any of these filters because, like I mentioned, they want to see every token and be able to discern and get in early. Because what often happens when you have these filters on, you're going to miss out on getting in, under that $20,000 market cap, under that $30,000 market cap. So I recommend you leave these blank. But see here, let's say I wanted a token just to have a minimum of 10 holders, right? I don't want to see these tokens with one holder. I could add 10 here, right? Liquidity, all this is saying is, the token has matured a little bit. There's been some trading on it and the liquidity has been built up some, right? Don't want to mess with that. Volume for new creations, I want to see the ones that I've just launched, so I don't want to filter out the new tokens. Same thing for market cap. I could say, oh, I don't want to see these $8,000 ones. I only want to see 15,000 and above, right? I'd put 15,000 there. But like I mentioned, now I'm not seeing the newest tokens. I might want to buy ones that are under 15,000. So that's what that market cap filter does. Number of transactions. Let's say I want to see that there's already been some movement. There's been some buys and sells. I could put a min or a max. Number of buys, number of sells, and then token age. So once again, for the new creations, I leave it at only pump.fun be the filter. That's my one filter. When it comes to about to graduate, my only other filter I add upon it is a max age. I use 45 minutes. Sometimes I change that to 30 minutes. Sometimes I might change that to an hour. However, I like having a maximum because I want to catch tokens. Maybe I missed it on the new creation list and now it's getting up there. Maybe it's at 30,000 or 40,000 and I see it's rising and about to graduate, right? I only want to see tokens that are less than 45 minutes old, because if they're over 45 minutes, you can even be more conservative. You can say only 15 minutes because you want to make it easy for yourself. You don't want to get into these difficult positions. You want to get into an easy trade where you buy in early. There's a lot of other people who say, wow, that's a good token. I like this token. And you get in early and it takes off. There are plenty of those opportunities. You don't need to get into bad positions or scary positions where you buy in at 20K, then it drops to 10K, then it goes back up to 30K, then it goes back down to 20. Like, those are tokens you do not want to get involved with. And we'll show you what that looks like here in a moment. So just for the sake, I'm just put 30 minutes right here because I want to see tokens that maybe I missed on the new creation list, but now I can catch them before they migrate, right? Maybe I like this Ragsy Doodle Dog, right? It's at 46,000. So maybe I missed it over here, but I can catch it here before it migrates while it's still at a relatively low market cap, because that's the key when it comes to trading. You buy low, sell high. Much like in real estate, the money is made when you buy the token, not when you sell it. We're going to sell it at various different prices, and we can't determine on how high it's going to go. These are speculative instruments. These are not fundamental driven. It's simply how much hype is coming about for this token. So we need to buy low to give us the maximum profit for when we want to sell, later on. So that's my only filter I'd recommend for the about to graduate tab. And now for the graduated tab,